Welcome to our NuEdge Distributor Training Module number 3. In this training session, you will learn all of the required details around monthly sales tracings and rebate requests. We'll cover the timing, the format, the content, the process, and the support to help your company accomplish this. You will leave this session with a better understanding of this critical process and a goal to begin monthly reporting and filing for rebates at your company. All right, let's get started. How do you get the discounts on products that you sell? We're going to try to make this easy with a 1, 2, 3 step process. First of all, get your end users enrolled. Second of all, find the contracts that will help you the most. Number 3, ask for the rebate. That's the focus in today's training session. All right, now we're getting into the detail. What exactly do you report and include on your monthly GPO tracings? Everything, that's the answer. All sales, including your NDC and your direct purchases. On those direct contracts, if you're accessing a GPO contract directly, you'll still file the data with us for admin fee purposes. Leave the rebate part blank if you're only sending in sales tracings. Your company is an authorized GPO distributor, so legally you owe an admin fee when you're selling to GPO member facilities. This is based on the class of trade of that end user facility. If it's an acute care, a hospital facility, you owe 0.5% on all sales, contract and non-contract. The NuEdge program allows you to pay 2% when you use a contract and 0% for non-contract. So, in your monthly sales tracing report, you're going to be asked to provide your ID number and code these sales based on the class of trade. Again, if it's an acute care facility, include AC behind there and add NE to all of your non-acute sales tracings because you're a NuEdge distributor.
Before we look at the rebate sales tracing content, we'll look at the important NDC processing timeline. Let's read this important information together. We'll start with the NDC reporting template linked here. This format is the same for any sales tracing or rebate request submitted through NDC. You must report to NDC by the 5th of the month to be included in the current processing cycle. If you miss the 5th, your data will be processed in the next month's cycle. The NDC contracts team processes your data the first half of the month to get you your rebates by the 15th. During this time, you will receive a few reports from the NDC contracts team. The invalid submission report includes lines that cannot be processed due to duplications or rebates not valid through NDC. You may not always receive this report every month. The reconciliation report is next. You will get one report per manufacturer that you submitted rebates for. The recon report will compare your rebate submission versus what NDC has validated for you. The summary of the rebate submissions will include all of the reconciliation reports. By the 15th of the month, all sales tracings and rebate requests are sent to each manufacturer. The distributor will also start receiving their credit memos for all of their rebate requests. By the end of the month, GPO admin fees are calculated and invoices are sent out. After the manufacturers review the rebate submissions, they respond back to NDC with a chargeback report. This typically can take between 30 to 90 days. Once NDC sends you the report, you will have 10 days to dispute. Let us know if you need help with these. NDC will help you fight for your legitimate rebates. We'll walk you through the details of these as we continue through this session. Something to keep in mind. NDC pays back the rebates in 10 days versus 30 to 90 days from manufacturers. Since it's normal practice to rebate where you purchase the product, consider moving more lines to NDC for easier reporting.
Let's talk about your NDC file format. There are a few important things to remember about this report. You must leave all of the columns intact. Each column is formatted appropriately in this linked file. You can save these files as Excel, delimited, or text files. After you upload your file to the NDC member site, make sure your file was accepted. We'll walk you through this step by step. Now, let's go through the content of each column on your NDC file. Column A is your distributor ID, or SOID, as assigned by the NDC contracts team. This will be a 3-digit ID and possibly a combination of numbers and letters. Columns B through J is your customer's bill to information. Columns K through S is your customer's ship to information. Don't forget, each ship to location must be enrolled in order to use a GPO contract. Columns T and U are for the DEA and GLN. These are not required fields. Column V is the facility's GPO ID, or LIC. This is needed in order to use a GPO contract for this line. Columns W through Z are the customer's invoice information. The customer PO is the only field not required. Columns AA through AF are the item information. The manufacturer ID, manufacturer name, and product IDs. The manufacturer ID must be the actual manufacturer and not NDC. If the product was purchased from NDC, you can always include that in column AC, which is the manufacturer ID 2, although this field is not required and you can leave it blank. Make sure column AF, the manufacturer ID, is the actual product reorder code as set by the manufacturer. This has to match the product codes on the contract in order to validate that line. Columns AG through AJ are for the quantities and unit of measure. It is very important to use the unit of measure that was sold to the customer. All fields related to cost should all match the same unit of measure. There are 4 pairs of columns that follow the unit of measure. Each pair are related to pricing and will include the cost for each unit of measure and the extended cost. The acquisition cost minus the contract cost will equal the rebate. The sell price, which is columns AO and AP, are necessary for all GPO contracts. This is how your GPO admin fee is calculated. Column AS is the manufacturer contract ID. You can also use the NDC internal contract ID as well. If you use a GPO contract ID in column AS, then you must also include the facility's LIC in column V. Columns V, AS, and AT are your 3 GPO specific fields. These 3 must all match the same GPO.
Column AT is your Vizient Subdistributor ID. How you report this ID makes a difference in your admin fee structure. Please note the letters at the end. Columns AU through AY are not required unless you are participating in NDC's Market Match promos. Available for NDC member distributors only.
We are more than halfway through this training, and I hope that you're still hanging with us. Now, let's look at how to upload your file on the NDC member site. Under the Contracts and Rebates tab, click on the Rebate and Sales Trace Data Upload. On the next screen, you want to click on Choose File. Find the location where you've saved your report on your computer, and then click Upload. You will see your file being processed in the box below. Wait and make sure that your file has been accepted. If your file is rejected, like this top row in yellow, click Select on the far left. The rejection errors will show down below. If you have several, you can use the filter option to look at one error at a time. This will allow you to look at each error and fix them in batches. To help, the row number is located on the far left of the error list. NDC will start processing files in the order they are received. Once NDC processes your file, you'll start receiving reports about your data that you submitted, such as the invalid submission report. Some of these may not be related to a rebate request at all, while others may affect the amount of rebate that you are requesting. These can include duplicated lines, vendors that NDC does not have a rebating relationship with, and contract lines that are rebated direct, such as vendor direct programs.
NDC will send reconciliation reports to all distributors via email. They will look something like this. Important: you have 3 days to review and dispute back to NDC, so you want to look at these pretty quick. You will receive one for every supplier that you submitted data for. The attachment will look like this, with the summary at the top. Below are the details on the adjusted lines, with customer information, the supplier, and item information. To the right, you will see what you submitted on cost, the adjusted cost validated by NDC, and the difference between the two. The variance equals the difference in the acquisition price minus the contract cost. The far right will include the reason for the difference.
Chargebacks are manufacturer denials. These can occur up to 60 days later. NDC will communicate any chargebacks per supplier via email. You have 10 days to review and dispute back to NDC. We recommend that you review all denials. From experience, we have found that some manufacturers do make mistakes. The attachment will look like this. The top is your summary with total rebate requested, approved, and denied. Any denials will also include the chargeback ID for accounting purposes. Below is the details for each line submitted. You will see the contract ID used and a corrected contract ID by the manufacturer if applicable. To the right, you will see the cost submitted by NDC, any corrections made by the manufacturer, and the difference between the two. The reasons for denials are on the far right. Make sure that you review these in case there is a mistake. If needed, reach out to the NuEdge team. We will help you fight for your eligible rebate dollars.
All right. Well, thank you. That was a lot of detail. Folks, does this seem overwhelming? Is it all just too much? Does your company have a system that can export this monthly data in the right format and time frame? If not, do not despair. We have some options. If your head is spinning from all the notion of doing this monthly sales trace reporting, NDC's Contracts and Rebates Department has developed tools and services to support and assist small distributors. We want your company to compete with the big distributors who use contract pricing so easily. It is a complicated process, and you may not even know that you're missing opportunities for rebate dollars on products that you're already selling. It is complicated and difficult to collect and manage all of the data from the different manufacturers and GPO contracts. It's hard to keep on track and do all of the filing in the proper time frame required. And worst of all, if you've made any mistakes, it's hard to follow back up on them, research, and resubmit those denials. NDC can help you. We don't want you to leave money on the table. So if you're interested in any of these ideas, reach out to your team at NuEdge Alliance. We can introduce you to the managers in NDC's Contracts Department. They'll be glad to talk with you about your needs. Let them help you maximize your participation in our GPO program. Well, that was a lot of detail, but at the end of the game, there's just a few things we want you to remember. There are resources available to help you and some addresses on your screen. The NuEdge Alliance website is NuEdgeAlliance.com, where you'll find electronic enrollment tools, your distributor profile page, and other things to help you, your sales team, and your customers utilize NuEdge Alliance. There's the NDC member site, where your contract search tools are. It's where you'll download the roster. It's where you'll upload the rebates each month, and that's often referred to as AIM. And then, of course, we've got a couple emails for you. If you have questions about membership enrollments, or if your customer list is already on the Vizient roster, you can email us at membershipinquiry@NuEdgeAlliance.com. All other inquiries, if you've got questions about contracts or just how do I log into this thing, email us at info@NuEdgeAlliance.com. That is a shared group email address that we all check and try to reply to quickly. And then if you've got specific contract questions about things loaded on that NDC member site, including some eligibility requests, you can send it to contracts@ndc-inc.com. And if you've got questions about which email to use a couple. Send an email to both the info box, the contracts@NDC box, and we'll jump on it to help you. Well, that's it. We made it to the end of the training session. Thank you for your attention. We want to end with the NuEdge team roster. On the left is our department here at the NDC offices in Nashville. On the right is our Provista support crew. Our goal is to help you use NuEdge Alliance to grow your business and keep winning against the national distributors. The most important email address on this page is info@NuEdgeAlliance.com. This group email is monitored by the whole team regardless of vacation schedules or sick days, so please email us with questions. We'll do our best to help you very quickly. Visit the NuEdgeAlliance.com website, kick the tires, you can't hurt a thing, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again.